Hi everyone, my name is Summer McLane. I am the owner of My Simply Perfect Events and the creator of the Academy, which is an online school for wedding and event planners. You guys probably know that. That's why you're here. So anyway, okay, I want to hop right in. I want to talk about where to find clients. That's one of the number one questions and one of the number one, frustrations for people who are starting out. Actually, not even just starting out. I think period. It's always like, where do I find clients? Where do I find clients? Where do I look? Where do I look? Right? We always have to get creative, right? So sometimes it's social media, sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that. Let's just hop right into it. First, I want to talk about where we're going to stop looking. Okay. So I started my career planning weddings and events for friends and family. And it was just what happened, right? So it was like I had some friends who were getting married. We were all in the same friend circle and everyone was really young and no one knew what they were doing, right? But like everybody was getting married. And so one day I was like, I can help you, I can figure it out. And then I started doing other stuff for, other people who saw my work. My first paying client, which was my second client, actually, I got my business cards in the mail and I was on my way to my friend's rehearsal, to their wedding rehearsal. And I stopped to get coffee on the way. And I still had a 9 to 5. And I came home in between, the rehearsal and I said, oh my God, like when I saw my cards on my doorstep, I was so excited. And so I brought them, in the car because I just wanted to stare at them. I just wanted to stare at them. And so when I went to Starbucks, I remembered that they had this board and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna bring like 5. It felt very like rebellious and very like big time, right? For me to like come in and, because I was like advertising for myself. And I put them on the board. Am I allowed to do this? And I got a call immediately. I know that that's not how it always happens, right? I still was looking for friends and family to refer me or to get work from them. And I really, really hate when people are like, nobody owes you anything. No one owes you a like. No one owes you a share. No, I hate that. I think it's ridiculous. Yeah, nobody owes you anything, but it would be nice to have the support of your friends and family. But we are not going to look for clients. We're not looking to our friends and family to become clients. And I'll tell you why. There's a lot of pressure there. If they like me, they will hire me. If they trust me, they will hire me. And it just becomes too deep, right? And we get in our heads a little bit too much. And it can become very frustrating and discouraging if you are looking to your friends and family to hire you, especially at the beginning, and they're not. So, but also in the same breath, at the beginning, a lot of times friends and family are like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? But understand the difference. They're not hiring you, right? they are using your talents, right? So they're probably not paying you. They're like, oh, this is what you do. So they're not our clients, okay? Use your friends and family for experience, okay? Do an amazing job, and then maybe, who knows, maybe they'll refer you, right? I have friends and family refer me all the time now. But at the beginning, they didn't. And it was very frustrating, okay? So again, we're going to get out of our heads with thinking that our clients are our friends and family and that that's where we can find them. And also sometimes it's easier to sell yourself to a complete stranger, right? Because, we don't have all the baggage that's there with friends and family. Okay. So we're not going to look there. Where we are going to look at church. I am not kidding. Okay. We're going to church. If you don't go to church, if you have a spiritual group, or if you just have a group of people that you spend an amount of time with that maybe aren't your friends, right? So, again, church, if you have a book club, if you have, a group of entrepreneurs, who meet up every Wednesday, who knows, right? Anything, right? So that's where you can look for some clients. Something I want to point out though, your clients are everywhere, okay? Your clients are everywhere. I did a wedding. Oh, it's actually the wedding in the first slide, and I'll go back to that. Here, just go to it now. This wedding. I was getting my hair done at the dry bar, and I was getting a blowout, and I was just on the radio that morning. And it was this huge rating. It's still a huge radio show in Atlanta. And I had just been on, and I was so excited. And so the person doing my hair knew about it. And so we were talking, and I noticed that the girl sitting next to me had an engagement ring on. I start talking about it a little louder. Yeah, man, this morning, I mean, it was so great, giving wedding invite, whatever. Because I'm like, I want her to hear me, because like I said, she has an engagement ring on. Not a wedding band, she has an engagement ring, and, she might want to hire me. So she says, well, what advice would you give? And I'm like, huh? And she says, well, yeah, I'm engaged. I'm getting married in Florida. And I'm like, oh, wow, congratulations. Oh, what a beautiful ring. As if I hadn't already seen it an hour before. So we talked. She was like, I love you. She hired me, I don't know, maybe the next week. So your clients are literally everywhere. They got married at Delray Beach, Florida. The photographer who took this, I'm still in contact with them. This was like 5-6 years ago. Still in contact with them. They refer clients to me all the time. So when I say that your clients are everywhere, they're everywhere. I went to the doctor the other day, and she asked my profession. And when I told her, she tells me this horrific story about how she had to cancel her wedding at the last minute. And she was like, do you have any business cards? And I'm like, sure. So like I said, your clients are everywhere. Okay. But where we're going to be looking for clients, again, we have these social settings, we have these social groups, church, the synagogue, the mosque. I'm not going to list every religious thing, but there's so many places that you can go. So remember, like I said, that, clients are everywhere. You also have to remember that you have to represent yourself well everywhere. I mean, I'm like at the doctor, and I'm like, let's talk about this later, but I gave her one of my cards. But still, you have to remember that anywhere you go, you may run into a potential client, okay? Also, if you go to Party City or you go to AC Moore, you might see someone there who is looking for some stuff to do their child's birthday party. You got to learn how to sell yourself, right? You say, oh, you're getting stuff. Oh my gosh, wow, that's so great. Yeah, I'm an event planner, and we do this all the time. I know kids' birthdays can get crazy. And then they might say, oh my God, you're an event planner? See, you always have to be prepared, because your clients are everywhere. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about advertising. I've said this many times before, we don't pay to play. And what I mean by we don't pay to play is, don't spend your advertising and marketing budget on taking out ads in magazines. I've done it before, and I regretted it. There's this magazine in Atlanta, and I was, friendly with the editor, and I kind of wanted to get in a little bit more with the editor. I knew she needed to sell some ads, and I was like, okay, let me take out an ad. It was a fourth of a page in one of those magazines that's free, and it's distributed everywhere. So I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be great. Well, my ad was $1,000, and I'm just like, waiting for the calls to roll in. You know what I mean? I'm like, as soon as they said, okay, this is the published date, this is when we're going to start rolling the magazines out. Listen, okay? And also it was a digital magazine as well. So it was like a physical and it was digital. So I'm like, oh, that's everybody. Everyone's going to, have this magazine. So I'm sitting there, my phone, my computer, I'm just waiting to just get booked, ridiculously, right? Because I'm like, my work's in a magazine, of course. I didn't get one call. I didn't get one email. I didn't get a tweet. I didn't get a Facebook message. I got nothing from that. Okay. And it was pretty painful, because I'm like, dang, I spent $1,000 on this. And this was a magazine that came out every 6 months. So people had 6 months to look in the magazine and call me. And they didn't. This is a very common thing amongst wedding planners. So we don't pay to play. If you want my work, right? If you want to post my work in your magazine, Okay, that's great. You can go ahead and post it and you'll give me credit and there you go. But I'm not going to pay to be in your magazine. Okay? So something that I want you guys to also think about is that we're not going to go to magazine yet, right? We're not going to worry about getting published in magazines, especially when you first start. Because when you first start, you're working on getting content, right? But even after you start and you have content, you still aren't going to pay to get into a magazine. Because what you're going to do is you're going to do some research. You're going to find out who the editor is, where you need to submit your work, and submit it. And you're going to keep trying until somebody says, hey, wow, just saw your wedding or whatever, right? We're going to talk about social media. Social media is huge. So many of us get business through social media. I just did this 1-year-old's birthday party and her mom found me through an Instagram ad. I don't know if you guys know how to use hashtags. You have the ability to have 30 hashtags. Now, you want to make sure that you stay away from the obvious, bride, groom. Every once in a while, I put those hashtags in. If I'm doing a wedding in Indiana, I'll put Indiana wedding planner, Indiana bride, Indiana wedding, Indiana weddings, Indiana brides. And you see what I'm saying? You want to make them more specific because the way that hashtags work, I think maybe not everybody knows. So if you know, just bear with me. The way that hashtags work, they go into a group. So if I'm saying I want to find glasses, okay? I want to find a certain type of glasses and I know that Karl Lagerfeld makes dope glasses. I might go under the Karl Lagerfeld hashtag. That's clearly hard for me to say. Anyway, but I would go under that hashtag. And so anyone who has tagged their glasses, their clothes, their work, anything that has been hashtagged Karl Lagerfeld is going to be there. Okay? So if someone is looking up Atlanta wedding planner, they're going to see tons of my work in there, right? They're going to be like, dang, she has a lot of work. And that's what you want. Atlanta wedding planner, Atlanta bride, Atlanta brides, Atlanta event planner. So you want to make it as specific as possible, again, so that people can find you. Because if we say bride, groom, there are millions of photos in that, and you're just going to get buried in that. Okay? The same for Facebook. And kind of the same thing for Twitter as well. You're limited with the characters that you're able to use on Twitter. The academics are on Twitter, But there are articles. I write for the Huffington Post and I write for Essence Magazine. And I was interviewed on NPR. Ooh, sorry. Just okay. Anyway, I told myself I wasn't going to do that. But anyway, but I did an interview on NPR. All of a sudden, my Twitter is like blowing up. And I was told that it was going to air at a different time than it actually aired. So my Twitter starts blowing up and I'm like, what? The NPR segment where I was interviewed, they don't have an Instagram account, but they had a Twitter. And so there were tons of people who were able to find me. They were contacting me because NPR tagged me and referenced me on their Twitter. Okay, so one way to use Twitter is you can go and read an article that pertains to your business that represents your brand. You can retweet that. Everyone who is connected to them, they get to see your name. You retweet the article, and then everyone who is on their network, they can come across your page. Okay, another thing too, I have a full social media class, but I'm just going to tell you this. When you're on Twitter, rather than retweeting a picture, okay, or rather than tweeting a link to a picture, they post something on Instagram and they tweet the link to Facebook and to Twitter, okay? So it's just a link that shows up. It's lazy. Sorry, guys, but it's lazy. And I understand because social media is so much work. What I want you guys to think about is when you're scrolling through your phone, right? On Instagram, they've now given us, like, we can have bigger photos. Before it was just a square, now you can make them a little taller, right? Well, those stand out to me more than the original size Instagram pictures, okay? On Twitter, it's the same thing. When you just see scrolling, you just see links, you just kind of keep scrolling. But if you take the actual picture of a bouquet or of a beautiful bride and I tweet it, a photo is going to stop you. You're going to give pause when you see a photo, okay? Just a little Just a little tidbit. Pinterest is one of the most underused business tools that's out there. You guys, Pinterest is so sick. And I hated Pinterest for a long time until I started learning about it more. Okay, Pinterest is really a place for people to dream. And as a wedding and event planner, I can only dream for so long with my clients because I got to start putting things into motion, right? And so, oh, wouldn't this be pretty or wouldn't this be pretty? Half of my job is managing expectations. So if you're on Pinterest and you're like, here's my dream, right? Well, it's probably your dream because it's a lot of people's dream, right? It's a lot of people's dream. I had a wedding. The budget was a little over $200,000. They really trusted me. They let me do whatever I wanted to do. And it was amazing. I found an idea on Pinterest, and I've never been able to do it since because it was so insanely expensive, but it was so insanely beautiful. One of the things about Pinterest, again, is that I feel like people are not realistic. So I have always kind of like stayed away from Pinterest, and I realized, wait a minute, there's so much business out there. Like, you guys, our clients are on Pinterest, right? The mothers and the fathers who were like, dang, I got to plan this 1-year-old's birthday party. Okay, well, have them looking it up, right? Unicorns are the thing right now. Oh, God, I got to do this unicorn birthday party. And how am I going to do? Well, did you know? I just learned this. I think it's pretty amazing. Did you know how pictures are normally labeled like USB 1234.jpg? If you name your photo Unicorn Party, and I'm sure it could be like Unicorn Party 1, Unicorn Party 2, right? Unicorn Party.jpg, that shows up as a search engine as well. They can search you by the name of your photo. Literally, that blew my mind, you guys. Like, now I'm annoyed because I have to go through and I have to like change a lot of the things on my Pinterest because so much of my, every picture is DSB 15729.jpg, and I'm like, I'm underutilizing. Like, there's so much business out there. Take your time on Pinterest until you have a lot of content. First, make a Pinterest board. Well, first of all, if you're not on Pinterest and you're in this industry, you need to go and get on Pinterest and get a business account and create a board of just your work. And you're like, well, dang, Summer, I don't have any work. Okay, that's fine. That's fine that you don't have any work. Because what you're then going to do is you are going to create different boards. Now, the boards, they're mood boards. They are inspiration boards. Unicorn Party. Okay? And then everyone has work. Everyone has Unicorn Party work. All you have to do, you can pin it to your board, give it a new caption, which they allow. It's not plagiarism. You're not taking somebody's work. Isn't this such a beautiful thing? Blah, 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 blah. So what happens is people start to go, dang, this person has really great ideas. Maybe you don't have work yet because you're just starting out, but you have amazing ideas and you know how to curate an amazing mood board. You guys, like, it's right there. Problem solved, right? You have to get out of your own way when you are in this industry. I think when you're in any industry and you're wanting to start a career and you're like, I'm leaving my 9-to-5 behind, but you got to know how to do it. This is how you do it. I'm telling you guys, this is how you do it. Okay? You have to utilize the things that are out there for you. I am like such a Pinterest stan right now. I hated it for one reason. Then I'm like, oh, Summer, you got to turn your thinking around, honey. Like, weddings and events, Pinterest is where we need to be, okay? Everywhere is where you need to be, but do not underestimate Pinterest. We can talk more about Pinterest in other courses. Well, I do talk about Pinterest. Talk about it over coffee. So anyway, quick recap. We are not going to look for clients in our family and friends. If they happen to come that way, great, amazing, wonderful, okay? If you are doing a friend's event or a family member's event and you're not getting paid for it, they're not a client, okay? They are practice. We need somewhere to practice. We need somewhere to put our ideas. But if they're not paying you, they're not a client. Okay. And what are we here for? We're here to make money, right? we're here. We all have bills. Any social group that you're a part of, remember, this is a way like you can start selling yourself and I don't mean like, multi-level marketing, like, hey, you're not always selling yourself, but remember, you are always selling yourself because people are always watching. Right? Advertising, again, we don't pay to play. You guys know what that means. I just explained it. When we talk about social media, this is where we find our clients. There are people out there, they want your help and they need your help. You just have to find a way to get in front of them. This is how you find clients, you guys. And these things are free. That's the crazy part. These things are free. Instagram's free. Facebook is free. Pinterest is free. And so is Twitter. You just have to know how to do it. And again, Summer, I don't have any work. I don't have any business. I don't have, I don't have any clients. I don't have photos to use. Okay, well that's fine. It's the same thing for Instagram. You go on someone's page that you say, this is a dope picture. I love this picture. You can use that picture as long as you credit everybody. People use my photos sometimes. If they don't credit me, I'm like, oh no, honey. You know what I mean? Like, no. You got to credit me. Okay. You have to give me planner credit. You have to give the photographer photo credit. And no one is going to be upset that you share their work. No one. So thank you guys so much. Once again, my name is Summer McLane. I am the owner of My Simply Perfect Events and the Academy. And it was so good to have you here. Okay. Bye.